It's Friday, December 6th. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. The government says it will not relent against criminals in the country. This from Prime Minister Andrew Holness. He was addressing a handing over of 52 keys for housing developments in Darlaston and Shrewsbury in Westmoreland on Thursday. However, Mr. Holness took the opportunity to address the crime issue in Westmoreland.
The failure of our national security strategy and policy over the years has been that we have not seen through the policies and programs and interventions. They come under political pressure, governments relent, and criminals smile. Well, let me make it absolutely clear. This Prime Minister and the government that I lead will not relent against the criminals in this country. So if there is any expectation that if the SOEs are not renewed, that it will be field day for criminals, they have another thing coming.
In April, states of public emergencies were declared in the western parishes of Westmoreland, St. James and Hanover. The Prime Minister also took aim at critics of the measure in Westmoreland who say it's not working.
We have had the SOE in the tri-parish from somewhere around the 30th of April to present. I'm using the 30th of November as my statistic date for 215 days. Presently, for Westmoreland, under those 215 days, we have seen 42 murders. 42 murders. If you were to compare the 215 days before the implementation of the state of public emergency in the tri-parish, but specifically in Westmoreland, 76 murders occurred. So since the implementation of the SOE, we have seen a reduction of 34 murders, a 44% reduction. So by that measure alone, and the same for shootings, there has been a reduction, and a significant reduction.
He said the government will continue to pour resources into the fight against rampant criminality. The Cannabis Licensing Authority, CLA, has issued its 50th license for operations in the medical cannabis industry. The Montego Bay-based Algal Biopharma Limited was presented with the permit to operate and retail herbal house without facility for consumption during a ceremony on Wednesday at the CLA's New Kingston offices. Minister of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Audley Shaw, commended the CLA on the milestone and hailed Algal Biopharma for joining the growing local cannabis sector. CLA is an agency of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries that was established in 2015 under the Dangerous Drug Amendment Act with a specific role to establish and regulate Jamaica's legal cannabis and hemp industry. The government says it is committed to strengthening inclusive school environments that enable students with special needs to function effectively. Assistant Chief Education Officer, Media Services in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Nadine Sims, says the Special Education Unit and regional offices are to be staffed with special needs coordinators, clinical psychologists and educational psychologists. She said additional caregivers have been provided through the Housing Opportunity Production and Employment Program. Ms. Sims represented Acting Permanent Secretary Dr. Grace McLean at the Disabilities Awareness Conference held at the Jamaica Conference Center in downtown Kingston on Wednesday. The complete rupture of a recently discovered fault line in Kingston Harbour could generate a 5.8 to 6.9 magnitude earthquake, potentially having serious implications for the capital city located less than 5 kilometers away. According to a recent study dubbed the Neotectonics of Southeast Jamaica, derived from marine seismic surveys and gravity cores, published in the journal Tectonics, found that the fault is an extension of the Bull Bay Strike Slip Fault within the Enquilero Plantain Garden Fault Zone, which extends to the island of Hispaniola. The recent fish kill in the Kingston Harbour was caused by an algal bloom. The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, says that's what preliminary information suggests. Algal bloom is a recent increase, or a rapid increase, in the population of algae in marine systems. Lisa Kirkland, manager of pollution monitoring and assessment at NEPA, said the resulting decrease in oxygen in the water is affecting fish in the area. NEPA reported the fish kill on Wednesday and warned persons not to eat the fish. The Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, on Thursday celebrated the 50th anniversary of its relationship with Jamaica. Finance and Public Service Minister Dr. Nigel Clark praised the IDB for the role it has played in the country's development. According to Dr. Clark, several financial and supporting institutions were started with the support of the IDB, including the Financial Services Commission, Office of Utilities Regulation, Rural Agricultural Development Authority, National Solid Waste Management Authority, and the Regional Health Authorities. On a lighter side, on Thursday afternoon, Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his wife, Member of Parliament Juliet Holness, hosted the annual Senior Citizens Treat on the lawns of the office of the Prime Minister. Here are some highlights.
Now, the fellowship and the deal amongst yourselves is very important. But it is important that I get to see you, because there are many issues that affect the seniors in our country. That sometimes I am locked up in my office, or I'm dealing with other issues, or there are so many issues to deal with, that this special group of Jamaicans don't always have an opportunity to speak with their Prime Minister.
This week on Culinary Trails, we will make or mark and try some French cuisine at Tea Tree Creperie.
Good morning, Simone.
Hi,
Welcome
Michael.
to Tea Tree Creperie.
Really, the first thing I can notice when I come in here, the setup, it's really inviting and it looks really exciting. All the graffitis on the wall. Tell me about it, and can I do it?
Yes, most definitely. All right, so here is like a place where we like the customers to leave their experience and some of the flavors that they have tasted after having some of our sandwiches, crepes, or omelets. It all depends, but definitely. We have a lot of space, and if you don't find the space on the walls or the window, you can always go on the ceiling as long as you can reach the sky's the limit.
You have a ladder can let me?
Most definitely. Or we could give you some social climb if you like that as well.
All right, this is pretty cozy. I like it. So what kind of food do you serve here?
Well, we mainly serve French dishes, more like crepes, omelets, sandwiches, salads. The variety is limitless.
I can see that. And the drinks, what can I get to drink when I come here?
Well, we have a famous drink, which is the frozen mint lemonade or magic mint lemonade. As well as that, we have a blueberry stoli, which is very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds so yummy. So are you open, on the 9 to 5, or do you have like a special time?
Alright, so we are open actually 7 days a week actually.
7 whole days a week?
So our opening time is like from 8 to 10 from Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday we open 9 o'clock in the morning, but we close early on Sundays, in which we go up until midnight. So if you're looking for a place to hang back, kick back, chill till late, here's your spot.
Do you have free Wi-Fi?
Yes, we do have free Wi-Fi for all the persons that want to browse. Definitely, no problem. Well, I would describe it as more of a exciting vibe. Like music is chilling. You have a TV, so if you want to watch a game, so it's more like a mixed place in a sense, as in where you can have fun, you can chill. So if you're looking at a cozy corner, the couch is more like a cozy corner if you don't want the noise. If you want, like you said, TV, you may sit up more front. Or if you just want to just come and just watch and see, the bar would also be a good spot if you want to watch the chefs working. Alright, for you, well, I will suggest you for a smoked marlin crepe and a blueberry stoli.
Alright.
I think that would be a very good combination for you.
I can't wait.
I'm making a jumbo shrimp Alfredo crepe right now. And this is the shrimp we have here, already prepared already. And this would be the Alfredo sauce. It's already prepared as well. Right now the crepe is cooking on the crepe machine. When the crepe is cooked, we flip. And now we're gonna add the Alfredo sauce because the crepe is soon finished cooked. We add the shrimp. And now we fold the crepe batter.
Top of the line customer service to the customers, like we are smiling, we greet you at the door. But I'm expecting you to be wowed about the food. I'm hoping to grab your attention. So when you hear about T3, you just wanna go, You just wanna get your friends, get your things, and just head straight to T3.
I think I'll have a blueberry stoli. Yeah, that's it.
So you're gonna make blueberry stoli magic this afternoon. So first we start by putting some ice to the blender. Alright. Add some lemon juice. Add a little drop of coloring just to get that color right. And then blend.
Thank you very much. It looks so yummy. All right. Thank you. See you at our next spot on Culinary Trails. Maybe it will be your place. In regional news, Dominicans go to the polls on Friday. However, the lead up to the general elections has been marred with unrest. CMC's Peter Richards tells us more in this special report.
Dominicans go to the polls on Friday to elect a new government, with the two main contenders expressing different opinions on the likely outcome. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt, who is leading his Dominica Labour Party into the election, is predicting a landslide victory.
We are very confident that the Dominica Labour Party is going to win on December 6th. And we are going to have a landslide victory in Dominica. The people are with us, the voting people are with us, the momentum is with us. We have the best, better policies, the better programs, the better strategy for Dominica's development.
But Lennox Linton, his main challenger for the job, is somewhat cautious, saying that victory for the United Workers' Party could be achieved against all odds.
We are in an election that is neither free nor fair, but an election in which we are contesting against huge odds, hoping to upset the apple cart.
The polls are taking place amid some level of protest in two of the strongholds of the opposition party. And during the early hours of Thursday, police used tear gas in the northern village of Salisbury as the authorities moved to unblock public roads where tires and other debris had been set ablaze. On Wednesday night, in a nationwide radio broadcast, Prime Minister Skerrit said the election would take place on Friday as scheduled and that voters would not be intimidated.
General elections will be held in the Commonwealth of Dominica on Friday, the 6th of December, 2019. Let us be very, very clear about this. Let us be clear also that the intimidation of voters and other law-abiding citizens in this country will stop in the prelude to voting. I will not have lawless persons attempt to frustrate decent voters on their way to the polls or destroy the democratic process in Dominica.
But Linton has defended the actions of what he termed the young people in the two villages and is further appealing to the United States to intervene in the electoral process. He's claiming that Prime Minister Skerrit had asked the Caribbean community CARICOM to send military personnel to Dominica to help maintain law and order.
The people of Dominica need help. The people of Dominica have been abandoned by their Prime Minister, who wants to own and control them for his own dictatorial benefit. The people of Dominica have been abandoned by their president. The police doesn't work for the people of Dominica, it works for the Prime Minister. The Independent Electoral Commission is not there to do the work of the people. The courts don't seem to be there to do the work of the people. The people of Dominica need help. Now the Prime Minister, who was so brutally oppressed the people in their bid for electoral reform, is getting the support of fellow leaders of CARICOM to send in soldiers and police officers to intimidate them because they stood up for free and fair elections. Every other CARICOM country is voting by the guns. And because the people of Dominica are asking for that and Roosevelt Skerrit is refusing, CARICOM is sending troops into Dominica to help Skerrit in his oppression of the people of Dominica. So we need help.
The private sector has expressed some level of concern at the political climate leading into the elections. Kenny Green is the president of the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce.
The effect obviously is jittery. The business sector is jittery. They are concerned primarily because the thoughts of anarchy and chaos, especially after what happened post-Maria, have lingered. However, we see that there is an opportunity through the process to settle the nation. And hopefully that is what will happen after the elections, that the electoral process will settle the nation and that we can resume doing business within a semblance of peace and normality.
Earlier this week, the protesters in Marigot launched a verbal attack on the Bishop of Rosa, Gabriel Malzere, and Cardinal Kelvin Felix. The Vicar General, William John Lewis, has expressed the church's disappointment.
I think it's unfortunate that the general feeling is that somehow the church may not have spoken enough in terms of teaching the people. Although I don't agree with that. I think indeed the church has spoken on numerous occasions. The question is, has anybody been listening? And has anybody been understanding what the church is saying? Again, as I say, it's unfortunate because it's what is perceived. Whether it's real or perceived, you have to address it. And yes, the church has been drawn into the politics, but the church has always been in politics in the sense that the church has always felt responsible to teach the people, whether it's in terms of the social life, whether in terms of healthcare or whatever it is. And certainly politics is very much part of the people's lives, and therefore the church cannot be removed from it.
A number of regional and international organizations are in Dominica to monitor the polls, including the Organization of American States, the OAS, whose team is led by the former Bahamas Prime Minister, Hubert Ingram.
We're here on an observer mission for the Organization of American States, and we've had meetings with a number of persons, the Prime Minister, the President, Leader of the Opposition, Commissioner of Police, Registrar General, and others. And we are gathering information to observe the elections tomorrow. And the day after, we'll make a public statement on Saturday afternoon as a preliminary statement, and we prepare a report, and all of which will be made public.
Are you concerned about the acts of violence in the country?
Yes, we were concerned about it, and that's why we sought assurances from the Commissioner and from the Leader of the Opposition and from the government that they are taking the appropriate steps to ensure that the elections are not affected by any violence tomorrow.
The polls will open at 7 o'clock in the morning and close 10 hours later. For CMC News, I am Peter Richards in Roseau, Dominica.
In sports, FIFA President Gianni Infantino could become the newest member of the International Olympic Committee, IOC. IOC Chief Thomas Bach announced Thursday that Infantino will be officially put forward as a candidate to be a member in January, when he will have to face a vote from over 100 current members of the IOC. Infantino's predecessor, Sepp Blatter, who departed from the organization amid a corruption scandal that swept FIFA, was an IOC member. But since succeeding him in 2015, Infantino has never been a member. Jamaica's top-flight Red Stripe Premier League, RSPL, is set to issue a new era into its championship with the introduction of Friday night football. It will kick off tonight with a top-of-the-table clash between Waterhouse FC and Mount Pleasant FA at Drewsland starting at 7 p.m. Friday night football debuted a few years ago in St. Catherine, then in Casafa Super League, and now RSPL fans will get a chance to watch the nation's best teams compete to kick off the weekend. Waterhouse, meantime, leads the 12-team table on 33 points from 14 games, 8 ahead of second-placed Mount Pleasant with 25 points, but from 15 games. The Jamaica Cricket Association, JCA, and the University of the West Indies signed a 3-year Memorandum of Understanding recently. For the duration of the agreement, UWI will provide medical screening, rehabilitation, educational opportunities, and strength and conditioning programs for all national teams. And the JCA will help to develop infrastructure and provide training and equipment. President of the Jamaica Cricket Association, JCA, Wilfred Billy Heaven, has described the signing as a significant step in the continued development of the sport locally. And that's the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom.